Alright, this one's for you, Beef. And for those of you with beef with the Kingdom Hearts continuity as a whole. Look, there's a lot of crap that goes into these games, so I'm periodically going to go through it all and fill you in on what's progressing in the most expedient way possible in a segment that I like to call Kingdom Hearts. What the hell is going on? Kingdom Hearts is a game created chiefly by this man, Tetsuya Nomura, and it blends the aspects of Final Fantasy with what else but Disney. Yes, really. So, first off, some terminology that we just have to accept here. A person is made up of two parts, a heart and a body. A heart is basically a soul, but specifically for emotions and personality. Darkness and light are forces in the universe. They're basically elements, darkness being an allegory for the force of evil, and light being the force of good. Next, it's time for Kingdom Hearts. No one really knows what Kingdom Hearts is, but this kid in the leopard mask is going to summon it to bring back his real dad! Next, we have the concept of worlds. This basically is just different planets where different things go on in them. These are usually Disney settings, but not always. Wow. As much as I know about this series, it's really tough to just cover what we've seen so far. Last up is a Keyblade. A Keyblade is a magical sword in the shape of a key. They're also slightly sentient, and much like team captains where choosing teammates for soccer, they only pick the best of the best to roll with. So I'm probably not getting a Keyblade either. Now, let's get into the story of everything. At the very beginning, there was nothing. Well, actually no, there was everything. All of the worlds were smashed together, and there was this guy. He's called the Master of Masters, and he may well be the first Keyblade wielder. He's called the Master of Masters because it's friggin' awesome. He's also the mentor of the other first Keyblade wielders. Now, this guy gave a Keyblade called, well, no name, to one of his apprentices and told him,
"Just get out of here, you stupid, dumb animal!"
and sent him off to observe things. He did this because No Name had the Master's eye embedded in it, and that eye can tell the Master everything it sees for the rest of its existence. He then used this information to write a book known as the Book of Prophecies. Wow, real creative there, bud. No Name, the Book of Prophecies. You clearly aren't the master of naming things in a clever way. That aside, the Master told his other apprentices, known as the Foretellers, what to do if he ever vanished, dimmed, or faded away. And then he vanished, dimmed, and faded away. All the Foretellers have their own unions consisting of hundreds of people who are all Keyblade wielders. Most of the Foretellers don't really matter all that much, with the exception of the guy in the unicorn mask because he's voiced by Matt Mercer and that man is a god, but there are two in particular that really do matter, and for some reason, they're both kids. Nomura seems to really like kids. Not that way, pervert! The first one, Gula, was told that there's a traitor among the Foretellers. And this information drives a big ol' wedge in the friendship of the Foretellers, and they eventually start a Keyblade war because of it. The second is named Ava. Ava's duty is to recruit a bunch of Keyblade wielders for her own private militia. Since the Book of Prophecies told of this war, and Ava needs to focus on having some survivors for afterward. And that's the major extent of Kingdom Hearts Kai. Not all of it, obviously. There's a lot that I glossed over or just plain left out, so if you have questions, yell at me in the comments and I'll try to answer as well as I can. Fast forward to hundreds of years later, and all the worlds are now separate. Believably, the Keyblade War shattered the dimensions, but it's never specifically stated, I don't think, so yeah, that's my theory anyway. And these kids are just hanging out playing chess with No Name hanging over them. These kids are meant to represent darkness and light. Let's see if you can guess which is which. Skip to about 60 years later, and we see this dude trying to hide a body. Poorly. But this totally not corpse takes a far-out look inside and binds his heart with a brand new one. And summons a Keyblade. For some reason. 4 years later, we learn that the chess kids are training to be Keyblade Masters. They succeeded, and now this guy, Ericus, is training 3 more Keyblade Masters named Aqua, Terra, and Living Corpse Boy Ventus. Aqua's pretty much the best character in the series for reasons you'll see. Terra's great too, but no one likes him. He's also weak to the power of darkness, which evil Leonard Nimoy likes, but good guy Mark Hamill does not. And Ventus is alright. His main thing is that he has a lot of backstory. A lot of backstory. The other master is named Xehanort. Now, I have a quick rant here. Many people believe this kid right here to be the main character of Kingdom Hearts. These people are wrong. This guy right here is the main character of Kingdom Hearts, and you'll see why as we progress. We find out early on that Xehanort has a secret apprentice named Vanitas, who is a jerk, and that's his entire character. Oh yeah, he's also the dark half of Ventus that Xehanort ripped out, but minor details. Vanitas also controls the Unversed, which are a bunch of negative emotions that took monster form. I know. Look, there are just some things here that you have to accept. These are bad feelings monsters, okay? That's what they are. Anyway, one day, Vanitas starts messing around in the worlds inhabited by the Princesses of Heart, which are women with no darkness in their hearts. The ones that we find are Snow White, Cinderella, and Sleeping Beauty, so Master Ericus sends Aqua and Terra to go fix things. Then Ventus is like, oh no fair, I want to go play too, and follows anyway. Here we also learn that some Keyblades can become sick-ass space vehicles. Well, not all of them are sick-ass. So these three travel around to other worlds and largely create big messes for Aqua to clean up. Especially Terra, since he's mainly viewing what Ericus told him to do as kind of like a side quest, and his main goal is to find Xehanort because Sir Darkness McEvilface here is the only adult to ever say nice things to him. Terra eventually does find Xehanort in this barren wasteland, and he's told about Vanitas being the dark half of Ventus and needs to be destroyed. Oh, also, Mickey Mouse is zipping around the cosmos, because this is also a Disney game. And if I may have a side note here, which I may, it's my video, I feel kind of bad for the Disney men in this game. Like, unless you're a dwarf or a mouse, you have no personality other than, oh, I'm in love, I guess, so I'm gonna go kiss this corpse. Or, I'm in love, I guess, so I'm just gonna sit around and let my boy who used to work at Foot Locker go help women try on shoes. And that's pretty much it. I kind of, I just feel bad for them. And that's pretty much where we are so far in the Kingdom Hearts timeline. Now, there is so much more nuance to these games, and I know I skipped a lot, so if there's anything important that I missed, let me know down below. I also tend to upload these a week or two apart, and so that's a lot of time to forget things, and this series as a whole is just tough to follow. I've said it before, but it's like a 13-season drama series. Things will not make sense to newcomers. So buckle up, kiddos, and do that whole YouTube thing. Like, comment, subscribe, ring my bell, and I'll see you very soon. Later. Should I also say that Ventus is hundreds of years old? Nah.